Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our What DaSy Can Do for You webinar. We're excited to have you join today. So we have a little bit of a welcome before we get started. So on the next slide, I will just cover our agenda today. So we have a little bit of a welcome, and the purpose of today's webinar is to give you some high-level information about DaSy, our upcoming TA offerings, specific tools and resources, and available TA. So in just a bit, you'll hear about TA opportunities that you can get involved in this year, DaSy supports for IDEA reporting, and data-specific technical assistance. So there is a lot more information and detail about what DaSy can do for you, and we hope this webinar will be a catalyst for you to go to our website to learn more and reach out to us to discuss how we can support your data work. So we can jump into our webinar. We invite you to introduce yourself. You can type in the chat your name and the state that you're coming from. And if you also would like to, you can also change your name in the Zoom app. And we also have a poll, so we invite you to respond to this poll. It should pop up for you. And our question is, how familiar are you with DaSy? One is, I don't know why DaSy is spelled the way it is with the acronym the way that it is, and I might be in the wrong webinar. Two is, I'm new to DaSy and looking forward to learning more. Three is, I know about DaSy, but have been too busy to use DaSy tools and TA opportunities. Four, I've used DaSy tools and or have participated in TA opportunities. And five, I use DaSy resources all the time and participate in multiple DaSy TA opportunities a year. So we'll give everyone a second to fill that out, and we're happy to see all of your introductions in the chat. Welcome, welcome. And we know that it's been hot, especially hot in some areas of the country this week. So hope everyone is staying cool and welcoming some nicer weather soon. Okay, I'll just give it just a little, maybe like 10 more seconds. Okay, I think we can end and launch the poll. Thanks, Sierra. So it looks like half of us have used DaSy tools and or have participated in TA opportunities. And then maybe, let's see, that's like a little under 40 new and haven't yet used DaSy tools and TA opportunities. And then another 12% have used DaSy resources all the time and have participated in multiple TA opportunities a year. So kind of a nice little bell curve there. So hopefully we have something to offer all of you today. Happy to have you join us, and I will pass it over to Grace, who will get us started.
So welcome everybody. I'm Grace Kelly. I'm the co-director of DaSy, and we're really glad to see you here and to see that many of you have been involved with DaSy in some way, and welcome to those who are new. So today we want to provide an overview of the Center for IDEA Early Childhood Data Systems, better known as DaSy. And every once in a while I have to remind myself of that long name myself. As you know, DaSy is a national TA center. We are funded from the Department of Ed, Office of Special Education. So through our work, we support state leaders and data teams in strengthening how they collect, manage, and use data to meet federal requirements, support continuous improvement, and ultimately improve outcomes for children with disabilities and their families. What makes us unique is our focus on sustainable systemic capacity building, whether it's helping your state enhance its data governance, integrate systems across early childhood sectors, or improve how data informs your local program practices. So over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through who we serve, what we offer, and the foundational services that support our work. what you see in front of you are the objectives of the center. And so as you look through that, you can see that we have a strong focus on improving states' ability to collect, report, analyze, and use high quality IDEA Part C and Part B preschool data. We also know that integrated systems, whether it's across Part C and Part B, or across other programs, this gives us the ability to see a full picture of a child's experience, whether that child is receiving early intervention, transitioning into preschool special ed, or accessing services through other agencies. So how do we bring that data together to look at the whole picture of the children and families that we serve? And this last one is new. This is around child find. So we know that child find ensures that children with disabilities are located and evaluated as early as possible. And to do this effectively, we know that states need high quality data to understand who is referred and who is missed, and how long it takes to move through evaluation and eligibility. So that third one, as if you've been involved in DaSy for a long time, you know that 1 and 2 have been with us since the beginning. That third one is a particular emphasis. And as you probably know, if you're involved in DMS or you're looking at some of the work that you're doing on your SPP APR, that child find has become a critical issue. So now I want to talk next on the next slide about RY. So RY is around systems change. And we know that data systems and data are essential tools for improving EI and ECSE. We know that states want to know who is being served, how services are being delivered, and what impact those services have. And we know that data is key to this. So our ultimate why is the same as yours, in helping young children with disabilities and their families receive high quality services. And we know that using data and having strong data systems is what helps that. It helps facilitate program improvement. It helps improve compliance, accountability, and improve our federal and public reporting. So I do want to talk too about who we serve. So we serve all of you on this call today, but our TA is designed for state leaders, data teams, and cross-agency partners responsible for IDEA Part C and Part B 619 data. Our work supports the development of data systems that are high quality, integrated, and using data to drive program improvement. So we serve all of you and lots of other people too across the states and territories. I want to talk a little bit about how we can help build capacity. So a core focus of our TA is to build sustainable state capacity around these areas. And we do that through TA tools and resources, which are here a little bit more about today. One of the things we know is we can't possibly touch on everything that we have, but we are hoping to offer you a pretty good idea about what we have upcoming and how that can support your work. As you look at this, we're looking at building your capacity around collection and transmission, data analysis, data governance, your data system design and technology, how we can increase data use at all levels of your state, and how you manage that data. And we know that this helps to strengthen the infrastructure. It helps with knowledge and practices needed to collect, report, and use data to improve your systems at all levels of your system in your state. And there are certain types of data that we can help with too. We can help you with many types of data. We want to look at some of the types of data that we support: our child and family outcomes data, fiscal data, your SPP APR data, child find data, the 618 data. Many of you have been involved in your EdPass submissions, and transition data. We know that all these types of data are important, that we look at data quality, that there are clear data collection procedures and documentation practices. And we know that looking at these types of data and many other types of data are what help you all make decisions about how you can improve your programs, how you can better serve children, how you can answer those critical policy questions that you get asked throughout the year. So we are able to help you with any types of data, and these are the types of data that we can focus on. And so a little bit about too, I want to talk about our foundational resources. This time you'll hear us talking more about these resources. And we can talk, I'll talk a little bit about why they're foundational for us. So these are essential tools that will help states and us build and sustain high quality programs. From the DaSy data system framework through the Look, Think, Act modules, these resources are designed to help your state identify strengths and gaps, answer important policy and programmatic questions, maintain strong governance systems, strengthen the use of data to improve programs, and make data use routine and results focused. So when we think about the work that we do, our TA staff and our work with you all as states, this is foundational, and we will build on this throughout the next 5 years. And we see that these resources are sort of critical to thinking about how you improve your system. So if you think about the data system framework, that really is focused on data systems and data use. The critical questions about early intervention and ECSE are really those questions that we want to ask about how our programs are working and how we can go about getting the data that helps us answer those questions. Something new for DaSy this round will be to develop analysis plans that will help you answer those critical questions. And we have the leadership competencies that are new too. So as we think about designing and building our systems, having data teams and having the leadership competencies we need on those data teams are essential to making sure our systems work well. The data inquiry cycle will help us think through the collection of data all the way through the dissemination and what that looks like. And Look, Think, Act modules are easy to use, concrete modules that help you walk through the data process. So we see those as foundational, but throughout the rest of this webinar and our time today, we're also going to highlight other resources and show you how this all comes together for us. So now I will turn it over to Ginger. Oh, Sally, sorry.
That's okay, no problem. Hi, everybody. We just wanted to go over a few of the TA opportunities that we have. Just like Grace said, there's no way that we can possibly touch on everything we offer. However, we did want to highlight a few. Also to remind you that DaSy works in collaboration with other TA centers to offer supports, resources, and TA opportunities so that states' early intervention and early childhood special education programs can really be the best that they can be. So the next several slides will highlight some of our resources, TA opportunities that support that strong culture of data use. You're going to hear the DaSy website over and over in this, just because we really want to emphasize that our website, that's where you go to find the most up-to-date information. Any of our TA offerings like this webinar, any of our other information, it will be on that main landing page. And then of course it does broaden and you can find all of our resources across the tabs. One of the really good resources and ongoing resources we offer is our robust library of blogs. The blogs will offer a brief snapshot of a variety of subjects and then provides links to other more in-depth resources and information, including DaSy staff that are knowledgeable about the content presented in the blog and can help you work through some of those data issues you may be having. Another resource we'd like to highlight is EC Data University, or we call it EC Data U. And this provides an online learning experience And it has content that's streamlined to focus on relevant data components. And you can access the content in different formats through EC Data U with reflection and application exercises, as well as links to supplemental resources. Next, we would really like to introduce our DaSy Talks podcast, and those will be coming soon. Many of you may be familiar with DaSy Talks from IDIO. That was a very well received sessions in our last two IDIOs. And we've taken the same idea and the information from states for states and created a series of podcasts. So watch for more information coming soon. So you'll receive emails. Your state liaisons may perhaps reach out and say these are starting to be available. And of course, you can always check on the website because those will be posted there. So let's move to just a few examples of our ongoing or upcoming cross-state TA. DaSy cohorts, we have several of those, and those provide an opportunity for state teams to engage in individual and cross-state TA that's usually focused on a common outcome. Each cohort's usually about 6 to 24 months, and we'll meet in person 1 or 2 times during that time frame. So watch for information and announcements about any upcoming cohorts, and you'll again receive email announcements from DaSy as well as your state liaisons. And you can see that the family data leaders, that's been an ongoing cohort. I think we're in our third year. And then we have some upcoming ongoing cohorts. Family outcomes, child outcomes, data use, and then the child find cohort. You'll be receiving more information around that. We have 2 upcoming in-person meetings, our data managers workshop, and that's scheduled for July 15th and 16th in Kansas City. And then we have the Data Institute that's being planned for SPP APR, and it's scheduled for September 23rd and 24th in Indianapolis. Registration is closed for the data managers workshop, and the Part C coordinators and data managers should have received the date email on June 20th for the Data Institute that's coming up in September. We also have learning communities or communities of practice. And these are topic or role focused ongoing meetings, and these will create opportunities for learning, building capacity, and sharing knowledge. A list of these learning communities is on the right-hand side of the slide, and you can find additional information on the ones that you may be interested in, again, of course, on the DaSy website. About that, I think I froze. And of course, individual state TA. So our technical assistance turns those challenges into opportunities or builds on your state's strengths by delivering the right expertise at the right time. So we try to build strong relationships with states so that we can understand the issues and tailor TA to meet your needs. Remember, you aren't alone. You can always contact us. Each state has a DaSy liaison, and this person serves as the primary DaSy contact. So you should be getting all the update information from that person. Email and phone numbers are on the state TA liaisons page on the DaSy website. If you're not quite sure who your state or your liaison for DaSy is, you can search that. As always, our TA staff can assist with using any of the DaSy products or resources. So again, you're not alone. We can help you walk through those resources that Grace mentioned or any of the ones that we have available. And we also align TA with the needs of the state. So we're here to answer questions, share resources and ideas through email. If you just need a thought partner, or if it's just, hey, I wonder, we're always available through email or even a telephone call. We can also schedule virtual meetings or a series of meetings. Again, it's tailored to what the state needs. And also we're available for on-site workshops and meetings. So I know that during COVID, we all got very used to being everything virtual and on Zoom, and that's still a great strategy. However, we are available to come to states and really dig into some of the work and make some really strong changes. Okay, so now I'm going to hand it over to Ginger.
Thank you, Sally. Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit more specifically about how DaSy can assist your state teams with regard to IDEA reporting requirements. We're going to talk about the APR first and then briefly about EdPass. So one of DaSy's priorities is to help states collect, analyze, report, and use data. We know that the annual SPP APR is a major reporting requirement for you. As the primary tool, the U.S. Department of Ed uses to understand whether state programs are meeting your IDEA obligations. It's very important that you submit high quality data and analyses, and we recognize that. So DaSy is here to support that work. So along with individualized TA, as Sally described, we have prepared a variety of resources to support the production of your APR. These include learning modules, indicator checklists and tips, data calculation guidance, and most recently, specific guidance for the new indicator C12. So we're going to share a quick highlight of each of those resources and tools, and then summarize the types of individualized TA that DaSy staff can provide related to the APR specifically. So as you can see, our first type of assistance, we have created with ECTA a learning module for each early intervention, Part C, and early childhood special education B619 APR indicator. We designed these modules to provide a basic understanding of the indicators for Part C or Part B 619 coordinators and staff, and they can serve as a good training resource for anyone who might need to know more about the APR requirements, including new staff, your parents, related stakeholders, such as members of your ICC or your special education advisory panel, the general community, anyone who needs to know a little bit more about the indicators, but just needs a basic overview and doesn't want to read a whole lot. So these modules are web designed and supported through our website. Next is a set of APR checklists and tips. So in addition to the modules, DaSy and ECTA have created guidance for each part of the APR, including the introduction and the state systemic improvement plan, in the form of checklists and tips. So each of these documents includes a number of sections, such as what to know about this indicator and general tips that support all parts of the submission. So each includes a checklist of required and optional components to ensure that all fields in the APR are completed. So it's tied to the platform submission, the online platform submission tool. For some of the documents, we have included example language to help complete the fields where descriptions or explanations are required to help with what you need to submit for those types of questions. Okay. Next, we have some calculation guidance. These are more recent. DaSy began working on this set of documents to support your state data teams with your indicator calculation work. So this guidance is provided for all EI and early childhood special education indicators. The guidance provides details about the data you need for each calculation, such as specifically the numerator and denominator, and examples of those calculations. So you can use these resources to double check your data quality and accuracy for each indicator, the validity of the data you are using in your calculations, and for a reference to update your data collection processes. So we're really excited about these. They're direct, they're data oriented, and hopefully they're a good resource for your data teams to use. So our most recent work to support the APR, along with these calculation guidance documents is through written guidance that has focused on the newest indicator, C12. So I want to share a little bit of what we've done with that. So the new resources include a reporting guidance document, 2 example counting scenarios related to indicator C1 that is within the indicator C12 submission, and then an Excel summary tool. These resources hopefully can be useful to you and your state monitoring and data teams to understand the components of C12 and what data are required or optional to report, understand the type of information and detail needed in the description fields, and we do provide some example language there. They're useful for compiling all of your findings that you have to report for each compliance indicator and the related requirements and other fiscal and dispute resolution findings in the Excel tool. We don't have a tool or guidance directly for B18, but our partners who do a lot more work with the Part B APR have that guidance. So if you need support finding that, just let us know and we can direct you to that on the Part B side as well. Okay, so finally, we do provide individualized state TA for the APR, and here are some examples of that. We can help you with revising your current APR data collection and analysis processes, including conducting root cause analyses. We can help you analyze and understand your APR data. We can help you review your draft APRs. As you're writing that, we do that for a lot of states, and so we're happy to look at what you've written and help you refine some of your descriptions and language in your documentation. And then during APR clarification, we can help review the requests from OSEP and review changes that you're proposing in response to those requests. Okay, so we're happy to help in a wide variety of ways to support your APR submissions. Okay, so to pivot slightly, we want to highlight some of the more recent things we've been doing to support EdPass submissions. And this year, as you may or may not know, if you're in Part C, then you definitely know this. OSEP began requiring Part C programs to submit their required 618 data through its EdPass system. Part B has been doing this for a while, but it's new for Part C. So in response, DaSy has expanded the support we provide for these submissions. We've updated the data calculation tools to include file formatting that meets the file specifications. And we're providing much more direct support through office hours and in-person opportunities, including the upcoming Part C Data Managers Workshop. So we have some upcoming office hour sessions. If you need those links to register, please let us know. We have the tool available on the website, and we can put that link in the chat also if you need that. Okay? And you are always, of course, able to reach out and we can help you individually. We've done that very recently with certain states and are happy to do that. We enjoy supporting you with that work. Okay, so just want to do a little bit of introduction on the next section, then I'll hand it over to Howard. Along with the TA we provide for specific data submissions, such as the APR and the 618 reports, DaSy can assist with a wide variety of data-specific needs. So the examples we will share in the next section cover all types of support available to you, whether that means answering a single question to help you use a particular resource, or visiting your offices for 3 days of on-site intensive work to help you draft your data processes and protocols, okay? We're available across the gamut of support options. So on the next slide, these are just some general topics related to our data-specific technical assistance. In all of these areas, our goal is to support states' data-informed decision-making to improve outcomes for your program, your families, and your children. We want to make it easier for you to use your data and to get meaning from it. So as we talk through these topics, you may want to reflect and consider where you might need some support and how DaSy can provide that support to you. You may need to improve the quality of your data or your agency's governance of your data. Maybe you need to enhance your data system with a parent portal or standardize your data elements to make it easier to share those data with other agencies and the public. In reality, though we like to group these activities under a specific topic, it's hard to separate these. So we recognize that when you're working on improving data governance, you're also likely improving data quality. When you're improving your data system, you're also building your capacity for better data linking. Okay, so we're talking about these a little bit in groups, but know that when you improve something in one area, you're very likely making improvements in other areas too. So Howard will now take some time to describe specific examples of what DaSy can do for your state and your team in each of these areas. Howard.
Great, thanks, Ginger. I appreciate it. So there's lots of ways we can support state teams to improve data quality. However, we wanted to provide you with a few examples to take home today and think about how that might apply to your state context. So DaSy staff can consult on methods to update your family or parent survey sampling plan to increase the representativeness of the sample and improve the response rates. So in this example, we could assist with reviewing a current plan for improvement or help craft a new one. And we can also help develop methods to reduce typical sampling problems. We can also review data reports about services, dates, and related calculations to assess whether system reports accurately reflect timelines for indicator C1. We could do this by facilitating discussions with your state to build your data culture in and across your teams. Here we can also support your state's implementation of the cost KC across districts to improve child outcomes data. So in this example, we can help you develop a plan for implementing cost KC, how to coordinate with local administrators, how to build progress and monitor progress and review, access, and interpret the data, and use the existing reports for improving programs and professional development. So for improving data exchanges, data staff can facilitate EI and ECSC program engagement to improve transition data by sharing from Part C to Part B and vice versa. So this could be done by facilitating conversations and developing a process for both program areas, or through developing a use case for automated sharing or linking of transition notification. So we can also consult on how to map and link ECSE data into the state SLDS alongside special education K-12 data. So there are a lot of longitudinal benefits in doing this, and we can help support your team to think about what's helpful to your specific program in the SLDS and help facilitate that process. So lastly, in the linking EI and ECSE, this can help answer critical policy questions. We can support mapping the linkages between EI and ECSE, that's those specific data elements, and consult on redesigning systems to improve data sharing. So we can also help you plan, implement, document, and sustain these changes on your team so that they are part of your process and embedded into that work. So around improving data governance, there are lots of possibilities here. So DaSy staff can facilitate conversations with state partners, develop data sharing agreements that support the integration of ECSE data with the state ECIDs. We know these can be time consuming, and often the third party can really help move along this process by providing expertise about ECSE or EI and ECIDs and other programs by doing this early in the process. You're already doing data governance within your program. However, you may need to support You may need support within your team to develop data protocols, to standardize data reporting processes over time, highlighting roles and responsibilities. So you're doing this great work, so let us help you kind of formalize that in a documented process. We can also help support the development of data access and security procedures for a parent portal, So we can help you ensure the right roles and views are set up correctly and provide guidance to a successful portal launch or an enhancement, whichever that may be. So whether you have a new data sharing agreement or a revised version, we can review those data sharing agreements between agency partners. So we've got a lot of experience and insights that are helpful to have on the preparation side of this. So improving data systems, this covers a lot, but here are some highlights that we wanted to lift up. So DaSy staff can review a draft RFP and provide guidance on privacy components. So if you're thinking about it or have plans for a future RFP, be sure to reach out so we can be a thought partner and provide feedback on relevant content. We can consult on system development during the design, testing, and implementation phases to ensure the system meets all of your user needs. So whether this is a new system or an enhancement or internal or with a contractor, we can support during these phases. So we also want to help you support and build a strong data culture and use environment. And there are lots of ways of doing this. So one example is to facilitate discussions with your state teams and parents and families for a parent module or a parent portal. So lastly, if you're unsure or struggling with how to display your data, we can support the enhancement of your data visualizations for better public use of data. So, or if your data is part of an ECIDS or an SLDS, we can work with you and your team to create useful reports for your users. So now that I've walked you through a variety of data-specific technical assistance examples, here's 3 published examples highlighting some of the great work done by states and how the DaSy Center has supported them. So in North Carolina, the DaSy Center really helped their journey from linking Part C to Part B 619 data. So the state team, through intensive TA with DaSy, wanted to link their Part C and Part 619 data to really have a better understanding of how children transition from one program to another. Some of the benefits and outcomes of this work were the ability to reconcile notification data for children exiting Part C to Part B 619, longitudinal data tracking and program improvement that result in better services for children and families, and enhanced data analysis plans reflecting the ability to answer more nuanced critical questions, so the characteristics of children who might not transition between programs. So in the Idaho and Washington example, this was to implement statewide systems to improve outcomes for young children with disabilities and families. And so using targeted TA from DaSy, Idaho and Washington have achieved statewide SF implementation, built systems to support the early intervention workforce, and improved quality and use of their data. So the DaSy TA staff supported the state staff to have a better understanding of their child outcomes data and a variation across implementation sites. So this led to revising baseline data and yearly targets to better reflect their state's context. So in the last example here, DaSy staff supported Texas in developing a Part C data dashboard. We worked with the state to develop and identify the data dashboard purpose, the goals of the dashboard, what the key critical questions they wanted the dashboard to answer, the development of a use case to kind of formalize all of those things and what data elements would be needed and who the users were and what the benefits of the data dashboard would be. We help them engage partners to provide input on that data dashboard. We helped them prepare a pilot across the state and receive feedback and improved the data dashboard and helped develop a companion document that was help facilitate the data used for each, that was available and adapted for each of the 40 sites that were going to be using that for their statewide launch. So I can share those those links in the chat in a minute. But lastly, on the resources slide, we are here to help on short and long-term projects. And so we can visit your team in person, sit on virtual calls, and review documents remotely. So we're here to answer your questions and act as thought partners. Reach out, even if you aren't sure how we might assist. And as you can see, we've got a lot of great tools and resources to support you. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it along to Grace.
So we have a few minutes. Does anybody have questions? And I'm supposed to be checking the chat, so I'll check the chat as well. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask about our work going forward? Something that you're interested in, something that you see as a need that you'd like to see if we can develop resources or can support you in any way? I think we have so much planned coming up, and we're really excited about the work going forward and that we get to continue this work. And we're hoping that we can do these throughout the year to tell you about upcoming opportunities so you can know what we're working on and what's coming up. I'm looking at the chats and trying to talk at the same time, which I obviously can't master. No, but we have a great team of staff, and all of our staff have experience in IDEA in some way and with data and data systems. So we're here to help. I think some interesting things that we have coming up, we're going to continue our Family Data Leader project. As I said, for the critical questions, we're going to be developing analysis plans so that you can take a critical question along with an analysis plan that will show you what data you need to collect or to answer that, and also how you can analyze it and use it. We're really interested in supporting states with local data use because we know that often data is submitted at the local level and used at the local level and then comes to the state. So we have a lot, and of course on Child Find, part of what we're looking for, and I think all of you will get a survey soon, but we're wanting to do a landscape analysis on what data is collected related to Child Find. And we're going to be developing tools to help with root cause analysis and for analyzing the data and how to think about the data, as that is one of our priorities that has been, well, we've always worked on Child Find. It's now become more of a priority based on our funding. And we're going to have a Child Find cohort, so bringing states together to think about their cohorts. We are looking at doing meetings sort of around topical areas and around different venues throughout the year. So we have a lot planned, but we also know that hearing from you all about what you need also helps us design how we work together to improve. So I see some people have some questions, and so as we wrap up, are there any questions or anything that you'd like to say? Thanks for making it with this too. Oh yeah. We do collaborate. Kat has put in there that we do collaborate with our partners on a lot of our work. All right, so thank you for joining and spending some time with us today. We look forward to working together, and please let us know if you have any needs. You have a DaSy liaison, so there is a staff person assigned to every state for both C and 619. You can look at our website to reach out to them for any help that you might need, and they will make sure that you get the best person to help you with that issue. So thanks, and have a good rest of your week. And I know everybody's living in mostly hot places, so hopefully There will be coolness coming to you soon. But thanks for joining today.